Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that I received from our Facebook inbox, and the message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Please post my story as anonymous. I am a South African man, and this is my truth. Brother Nashi, I am writing this message because I am full of shame. Please do not mention my name or where I stay. People know me as a normal guy who owned a tavern. I used to own a tavern, but at that tavern, there was a lot of people that were stabbing each other and they would kill each other. And what people did not know or did have a revelation was that the reason as to why people used to stab each other after my dad had passed away when I was running that tavern, it is because I messed up the rituals that my father used to perform. He had been performing those rituals so that there can be a lot of people that would come to his tavern to buy alcohol, to groove all night without ever thinking of going to a different tavern. And the blood that would be spilled, it was the blood that the Tokoloshes will fight for each and every time when someone would be stabbed with a knife. As the blood is coming out, then the Tokoloshes will be getting some food to eat. I am a South African man. Growing up, seeing my father being such a hard worker, I thought that this was why he had managed to run that business that he was running for a very long time successfully. But what I had not realized was that even though my father was such a hard worker, but hard work will never get you anywhere. If you want to become rich, just being a hard worker is not going to be enough. You need to have another source of power where you will be able to tap into the spiritual realm and to get your blessings from the spiritual realm. And I used to believe that if you hustle long enough, something will change. I never thought that my dad, with him going to church, was a ritualist, and I never thought that I would also be involved in those rituals and I would end up messing the rituals and messing up with Tokoloshes like that. But when my father passed away, after my father had passed away, that was when I started running the businesses. My father died and I became the head of the family. Since I am the eldest, I received a small payout and some support from the relatives, and I was supposed to continue running the tavern in our area. It was just a normal township tavern. At first, I was excited. I thought that this business was going to change my life, but things did not go the way that I expected. Some weekends were good, and there were days when things were bad. I can say that most of the days things were bad. We were unable to reach our targets. Customers would pass our tavern and go to other taverns. I watched other tavern owners upgrading cars, extending their houses, living large, whilst our tavern, that used to be the hottest tavern in our area, but all of a sudden it was as if there was something that was so bad that people did not want to come to our tavern for. And then I started to have dreams about my father. He would come to me and he would be angry, but he kept on speaking of this other person. And one day I told my mom and I said, I am always having dreams about my dad and I am always hearing him in my sleep. He is telling me to speak with this man. Do you know him? My mom was surprised, and my mom told me that a very long time ago, when your father used to work in the mines, he had a friend of his, and whenever he had financial problems, he would go to that man. So it turned out that this was a man that was from Malawi, who was my father's friend, who always had spiritual answers to the problems that my father would be facing at that time. So I spoke with my mom and I said, do you know where I can find this man? My mother then said that she was going to ask one of her sister who was in KZN by then, who used to date that man. She was able to get us the phone numbers of the child of that Malawian man, and I spoke with that woman and I told her that I wanted to see her father. I went and I visited that man that my father was telling me about in my dreams, and I arrived at his house. That is how I met the traditional healer who destroyed my life. When I got there, he told me that there was a secret in my father's business, a secret that I did not know, but a secret that I was about to know. He shared with me and he said, your father, he became successful in business. He used to beat his competition because he was using Amaboys in his tavern. That is why your tavern used to be so famous, but now people, they do not even want to come to your tavern anymore. It is because you no longer have the blessings of the ancestors. If you want to continue having the blessings of the ancestors, then you need to use the same Amaboys that your father was using before he passed away. So I then begged that traditional healer to assist me with the same charms that he had given to my father, and he said, only that I'm going to help you in such a way that everything is going to be nice. And he said, since your father is passed away, you can now work with your own Amaboys. And I really did not think that this was for real, to have Tokoloshes small boys that can bring customers to your tavern. I just thought that this man, he was just talking nonsense. But since I was there with my mom, and then we did the ritual, and when we returned back to our area, I saw that indeed things were working. My tavern started attracting customers day and night, and I always had some kind of protection. When other taverns were being raided by the police, my tavern will never get raided at all. But later on, I discovered that these Amaboys do not work for free. He said that people would always fight, and they would fight for a reason: blood. I agreed, the ritual was done. I was then given some basic rules to follow if I wanted to keep on running that business. The basic rules that were given to me was that each and every night after closing the tavern between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., I was supposed to switch off all the lights, light 3 red candles, and to sleep with my girlfriend. These were some women that would come to the tavern to drink alcohol. Some of them would come without having any money, so I would tell her that I'm going to let her drink alcohol for free, but she was not supposed to go to her place without sleeping with me. So I had different girlfriends that I had that I was sleeping with. And each and every time when I would sleep with my girlfriend, he said that it was not about sex. It was not me sleeping with that woman on the floor of the tavern, but it was the short boys that will be sleeping with that woman that I'll be on top of, and she won't even notice that this is what is happening to him. So I started doing this, and I bought my first Bakim. Life was becoming so great. I even bought a house. It was a townhouse that I bought. And he said, as long as you continue keeping these rituals, your life is going to be easy. And my customers were coming in big numbers. Alcohol finished faster than usual. Money started coming in, and I convinced myself that this was the smartest decision that I had ever made. But something went wrong. My girlfriend started complaining, like my main girlfriend. She told me that she was having nightmares. She said that she was seeing small figures, like short boys, that will be chasing her in her dream, standing next to the bed. She said sometimes she would wake up feeling like there was someone that was touching her private part. She begged me to stop sleeping with him during those late night hours. with the candle on, and I lied to him. I said that it was stress, maybe it was alcohol. She was imagining things, but deep down I knew that she was now sensing that I was using her for rituals. Then whenever I would bring in a new girlfriend, then I would be told not to sleep with that girl. I was only supposed to sleep with my main girlfriend, who was refusing. So I was caught up in a situation where my girlfriend was refusing to sleep with me. I had to literally bribe her each and every time to give her money so that she can sleep with me, and she will not be in the mood, because she said, "What kind of a woman are you making me to be? This is the place where people drink alcohol and dance. The place is dirty. Then you make me to sleep with you on the floor. We don't even put a blanket. Why are you mistreating me like this? I am the mother of your child, but this is what you are making me to do." After 3 months, she refused completely. She had gotten a job. She moved out of the township. She started working. So our relationship became so hard for us to continue being together. That was when I made the biggest mistake. Instead of me returning back to that Malawian Sangoma, I just said, this is too hard. I've already made money. I stopped the rituals without getting permission. I thought that it was literally over, but it was just starting. The Amaboys got angry. From that point, my tavern became violent. If I can just mention the name of that place, most of the people that know that area, they will say, this is the tavern where people used to die. Almost each and every month, there was someone that will be stabbed. Every month end, without fail, people will get into fights, not small arguments, serious fights, bottles breaking, knives coming out, blood everywhere. It was like something that was a culture of our tavern. Sometimes people fought without even knowing why. I started noticing that whenever this would happen, sometimes we would clean the blood on the floor, right? And later in the evening, there would be a short boy that would come to me to beat me up. I ended up telling my workers not to clean. If people stab each other, leave the blood there. But then the next morning, the blood would have disappeared. There will be someone that would have wiped the floor, taking all of the blood. And my staff members, because of what was happening, because there was one girl that was stabbed during a fight. She was one of my cashier, and that girl, she started having dreams being raped by Tokoloshes, and she told other people that we were working with, and those people, they started talking about me doing rituals, and a lot of stuff started coming out, and my staff members, they resigned one by one. People started saying that my tavern, they see ghosts, people that died a very long time ago that they knew were buried. They would see them drinking alcohol at my tavern, and I started to have bad luck, one misfortune after the other. Police would come more often, unable to bribe them, and at night I started seeing these Tokoloshes following me everywhere. And I now had a townhouse where I was staying, and I did not have a wife. Whenever I would be alone, I would see scary things in my house, especially at night. I would literally sit by the balcony because I would be afraid to get inside the house, just grab a blanket as quickly as possible and an air mattress, and I would sleep on the balcony until it was in the morning, because I would always feel this negative energy and presence in my house, and there was nothing that I was able to do. This is what was happening at that time. I spoke with my mom about this. My mom then told me that she knew and she understood that my father, he had been using rituals, but she was surprised that my father, even though he had been using rituals, but he did not sleep with him in the tavern like I used to do with my girlfriend. So my mother then said, let us rent out this tavern to someone else. We then rented that tavern to a particular Nigerian man who has been running that tavern. As for me, I decided to hang the boots and I said that I can't do this. Let me start another business. I have another small business, but these Tokoloshes, don't you think that they walked out of my life? They are still present in my life. Sometimes I see them, but there are days when I do not see them. This is my confession. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll follow through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. If you have any confession that you have, you can come to our inbox and then you can share with us your own side of the story. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Then there is another message that I'm going to be sharing with you. It reads like this. Hello, brother. How are you? Please post my story as anonymous. I am a South African woman who is working in a popular restaurant. So we have another guy that we are working with. So this guy is from Zim. I just want to know, is it like really true that you can be given lucky charms that you can use? This guy, on a daily basis, the tips that he can get, even if it is not on a busy day, it's between 1K, 2K on a daily basis. There was one particular year during December, he had some problems getting money from our boss because the tip that he got from 1 December to 1 January, he had gotten over 49K. It was, I don't know how many times more than the salary that we do earn. So he struggled to get that money. Like the way that they give this guy a tip. Some of us, we work extra hard. We try to be friendly, but you can only be given 50, 20 rand tip. But this man that I'm talking about, it is only 100 and above each and every time. When he goes to serve someone, they will always give him money. And he has been telling me and another guy that he has a lucky charm bottle that he uses. He said that if you want, I can give it to you. You can test it out for 1 week. I am taking myself to college. I don't go to college like permanently, but I do go to college sometimes at night and sometimes over the weekends. I do have some lectures that really help me, and I want to achieve this dream and to have a good job, and I need money. And to get money, it is very difficult. So I want to know, like, is there something like a lucky charm that you can use as a waitress, like what this guy is doing? He stays in a gated community. He drives a Range Rover, yet he is just a waiter in a restaurant. Like, I really do not know how to explain it to you. The guy is living a soft life, a soft life. I even asked him, why does he continue coming to work? And he said, this is what I love to do. Besides, when you are using a lucky charm, you are supposed to be busy doing some work so that you can continue having luck in your life. To those that have experience, should I try to use the oil that he uses? Because what he told me and the other guy, he said each and every morning when he bath, he does not use like your normal body lotion. He only uses that oil. He rubs it on his face, on his hands, as well as under his armpits. And one thing he told me that is he has to spend some days without bathing so that he can have good luck. And I always wondered when I asked him why you don't smell when you say that sometimes you can spend 3 days in a week without bathing. He said, I use a lot of cologne, and these are the rules that you have to follow if you want to become lucky. I'm on the verge of collecting this lucky charm from this man. Will you judge me if I do such a thing? Please help. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with our sister in the comment section. She wants to know these lucky charms. Can she use the lucky charms without having any problems later on in the future? Let us speak with her in the comment section. I will post another confession as well on our other channel, European Confessions, about a man who lost 50,000 rands to a sangoma because he wanted to get rich quick. So it is European Confessions. If you know the channel, you can later listen to that episode that I'm going to be posting very soon.